As we are working towards the application of the DV 2022, one of the things we want to make sure that is people are applying correctly. So I'm opening here the application form and I'm going to answer one question which people have been asking me. I'm going to answer the question of the address. That will be number one question, which I'm going to respond in detail and explain so that you can be able to understand. When you say in care of, first of all, the mailing address, this one is a must. You must have a mailing address in order to apply for the diversity visa lottery. But there is no any document you'll ever receive from the US government or from Kentucky processing or from the US embassy through this mailing address. Mailing address is different from email electronic. We are talking about the actual mail, the actual letter. How do you get the actual letter like this one? How do you get a letter like this one? I don't want to put my address, but how do you get the letter like this one? That is what we talk about, mailing address. Where do you get the mail? So here in the US, your home address is the mail address. So again, you can put the address of your house. You can put the address of the postal if you have the postal box. That's what we call P.O. box. But if you don't have either of the two, if you are working, you can put the address of your office work. If you are a student, you can put the address of your school. If you can put the address of your neighbor or you can. That's why when you put the address of someone. So let's say you put the address of your church. So care of maybe Lutheran church in Kigoma. I'm giving. Oh, sorry, I'm mixing. So Lutheran church of Kigoma. I'm giving example. That is in care of. So that means your letter will go through the Lutheran church. That's number one, in care of. But if you don't have the care of, if your care of is someone, let's say your neighbor, in care of Ernest Makulilo. Okay, address. So for instance, you are going to put, so here the address will be, it can be P.O. Box 123, whatever the address you are going to put. If you have P.O. Box, this address too, you leave it is optional. Then you come to put the city. For instance, if the city is Kigoma. Then the district, if you don't have district, you leave it open. It's not a must. As I said, postal code or zip code. Postal code is the number you are using for the phone, the international code for the phone. That is your postal code. You don't have zip code if you don't live in Europe or in America. Yes, some countries they have, oh, this is a country zip code. Those don't matter, don't count. So it doesn't matter whether you put it, no postal code, zip code, it doesn't affect you at all. So if you are in Tanzania, it's 255. If you're in Uganda, 256. If you're in Rwanda, 250. If you're in Kenya, 254. Those are the code. But if you are in Kenya and you put it 001 to mean that in Mombasa, that is a country code. But if you want to use it, you can use it, but it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't, if you put it, you don't put it, it doesn't affect you anything. But let me ask you, what if you don't have the P.O. box? What are you going to put here? And you don't have, you don't want to use care of. So here, what you're going to put, you put maybe the street name. So the street name is, for instance, Johnson Street. House number 12. Oh, house number 1. So it doesn't, so you can put just, okay. So house number 12. Where in Kigoma. That is all. But again, I've been saying over and over, even if you put a wrong address, it doesn't affect you anything. But you have to put the address. I've seen some people, they are trying, they go here, they put email address instead of the actual mail address. It's not a big deal. And then the address here is the address where you are going to get the address where you'll be able to get the mail. So there are some people doing this kind of crazy thing. they're asking, oh, EBM, can I use your address here in the US? So they are going to put the address of the US. So someone wants to put US address. Even if you put the mailing address care of me here in the US, it doesn't give you any advantage. Whether you are in your country, whether you are in the US, it doesn't matter where you are or which address you are going to put. Your winning is based on this country of eligibility. Where you were born, which determines if that country you are born is the country of eligibility, you are going to put here. That is what determines you. It's not about the address or the person is filling for you. Yes, I applied for welfare Gervas Wegem, but I cannot, because I applied for someone, there is no guarantee you are going to win because the person who is filling the form for you is here in the US. So don't go and do that way. So that is something I want to make sure that you understand, the address part. So even if you put a fake address here, it doesn't matter. It doesn't count on anything. They are not going to send any document here. But it is a requirement. You must put the address. Does that make sense? If you have any question, let me know, and I'm going to evaluate another part of this application.